Thank you everybody for jumping on. I really appreciate it. We're going to hit a topic today that is near and dear to my heart, and it is on the topic of consistency. And today's call, episode 181, is called Take Flight: Consistency is Your Fuel. But before I go into the specifics of the call, I want to remind you of my professional purpose. And it truly is to help you, the broker, optimize your productivity and help you become the best version of yourself. Why? Because I do believe that happy brokers sell more real estate. And I do that by helping you handle challenges and opportunities that you face every single day. And if you can effectively manage certain situations that arise on a daily basis in your business, you'll be more productive and live a life that is the best version of you. And that's the goal, right? So, like I said, on today's Monday Morning Pep Talk, episode 181, module number 3 of Take Flight version 4.0, I will compare consistency in your business to fuel of an aircraft. I'll try to make the point that if you do not create consistent effort in your life and business, you will not produce the needed momentum to get to 30,000 feet. It's at this point of Take Flight version 4.0 that I'm going to ask for your commitment to implement the proven habits, rituals, systems, and processes that I'm going to teach throughout this course. Simply to be interested will result in the same reality you are experiencing today. What I will teach you over the coming weeks and months will not matter. It won't matter if you do not commit to the level of consistent effort needed to build your dream life and business. Okay. Simple things done consistently over a long period of time really truly is the holy grail of high performance. And why is consistency so important? You may have heard me explain over the years this pump the well metaphor that Darren Hardy uses to describe the compounding effect of consistent effort. He brings this up in his book, The Compound Effect, and he describes pumping the well as a process that requires consistent effort and patience. In the beginning, when you're pumping that well, you can't see the results of your efforts despite loads of effort, right? Finally, you'll start to see a small flow of water after a period of time. And if you stay at it, gravity will take over and the constant flow of water will happen as a result. Now, at that point, momentum kicks in and it takes way less effort to create a steady stream of water flow. Success is the same way. You can pump away for a long time without any results, and you feel like you're getting nowhere. And then all of a sudden, you start to see those tiny drops of momentum in your business. That momentum, if managed properly, turns into a constant flow of business. Okay. The 97%, those that are just interested, stop their momentum at 2 very key times. Okay. They quit right before they see the results because they think that their efforts are fruitless. Okay. So that's one point where they will quit. Because of this, their efforts go for naught just before things start to happen for them. Now, the 97% also quit once they've had some success, thinking the work is done and the momentum is created. So they've got that constant flow of water going and they're like, okay, job is done. No, to keep that constant flow, you got to keep pumping the well. You don't have to pump as hard, but that well will continue to create momentum for you and a constant flow. But these are the 2 areas that people stop, right before they see any kind of results at all, and after they see that constant flow, thinking that the momentum is there and they don't need to do anymore. Okay. So this is where consistent effort really pays off. This is why the 97% have a career-long journey of peaks and valleys and never truly enjoy the power of true momentum. It took me 5 years to create that constant flow of momentum, literally where that phone just rang. And it takes a while. Now, again, that was 2008 to 2013, those are some pretty lean years. And I didn't have the benefit of or knowing what to do. I had to go kind of teach myself. You're not going to take 5 years. It's going to take you way less than that, but it takes that consistent effort. As part of your homework this week, if you got a pen and paper here, this is where I want you to maybe make a note. I want you to go and I want you to grab the book Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, and I want you to read chapter four, and it's called Momentum. If you've not read the Compound Effect, you need to push this to the top of your reading list and study it. For the first few years of my course or teaching the course, I had this as kind of mandatory reading material, right? Like I really truly believe that all of you on here, you're good brokers, right? You're good brokers. You know what to do. It's that consistent effort that is your kryptonite. And so go back and read that chapter if you have the book. If you haven't read it, put it at the top of your queue. Again, consistency requires commitment to manifest your desired end result, along with these habits and rituals, systems and processes that you needed to support this consistency. Okay. One of my favorite guiding principles that I live by is if you see consistency, look for a habit, ritual, system, or a process. Love that. If you see consistency, look for a habit, ritual, system, or a process. So good. Take Flight version 4.0 is a series of different habits, a series of different rituals, a series of different systems, a series of different processes that the 3%, right? Those are the ELPs, the elite level producers or super achievers, as Darren Hardy likes to call them. It's what they do to build their dream life in business. Okay. And that dream life in business truly is code for being at 30,000 feet, right? Where that business is working for you, pull the engines back and you're in flow. Okay. To give you a taste of these 10 areas, some of these areas, here are 10 that ELPs and super achievers put their focus on consistently. Okay. And this is a morning ritual. Show me an elite level producer, a super achiever, and I'm going to find 99 times out of 100 a morning ritual, something these high level achievers commit to. They realize that before the phone starts ringing, they have to have me time. And there's not enough me time during the day once that phone starts ringing. It is how ELPs and super achievers play on offense all day, not defense. Okay. Number 2, meditation, visualization, and gratitude. We operate in a business. Well, every business is a mind game. High achievers, not the 3%, but those that look at them as grinders, right? That they're just going to grind it out. They skip right to action. They skip all of the things that are required to manage your mind. Okay. Meditation, visualization, and gratitude. On tomorrow's email, you're going to get my book review from my good friend, Christine Newell, who just wrote The Habit of Grateful. And that's going to be on my review of that is going to be on that email tomorrow. I loved it. I sat and read it for 4 or 5 hours on Saturday night. So proud of her. And, it's a book that will be my, on this topic will be my, my manual. So pick that book up. It's really, really terrific. Number 3, review of a 3-year vision, a 1-year theme, and a quarterly initiative. They have a business planning system. They don't just get up and hope, right? Hope is not an action plan. They know where they want to be in 3 years. They know that to get to that 3-year vision, we got to put in some themes, annual themes, and quarterly initiatives. And I'm starting to see agents that have put that into play, the 12-week year process into play, are starting to lap their competitors. Okay, because they're just getting way more done in a shorter period of time. Number 4, planning of the day. every morning during the morning ritual, there's a massive planning process. Okay. That can be done for me. I like to wrap up my day, kind of checking off the boxes and doing what I need to do, and then do a dry run or dress rehearsal of my day using my planning method. Okay. And we'll get more into that as we move through Take Flight. Exercise and diet. High achievers, elite level producers have a formula that works for them that they've tried. They invest in their health, they invest in their wellness, and they are thinking about long term. Okay. uh, I'm in inning 8 of my career, and you know, my goal here is to try to, you know, add 3, 4, 5 years on the end of my career. Uh, and how am I going to do that? By protecting the downside in the area of health. Number 6, show up. This seems so simple, but when somebody gets out of bed in the morning, they have their morning ritual, they plan their day, then they go, that's number 1, that's showing up. But how are they perceived? What's the first impressions that the market, other brokers, their clients, what is the version of them that people are seeing? Do they show up ready to get after it? Do they look the part? Meaning, are they putting time and effort into how they show up and present? Super important. Number 7, they have a process for following up and following through with their clients and prospects. Database relationship management, right? Like, you cannot miss out on those opportunities right now that are coming your way. You just can't. You cannot miss out on those opportunities. Many of you just went through a very dry 6 months of production, right? That market, that herd of buyers kind of went to the sideline. And I bet you look back and say, man, I wish I would have put more time and effort into that one client or that client. But you cannot, in the market that we're in right now and the one for the foreseeable future, miss out on opportunities that arise, that come to you. Okay. We talked about number 8 a little bit, but the end of the day, wrap up and review. When it's fresh in your mind, ELPs and high achievers, super achievers, they do not end the day without some form of review and capturing those specific notes and details that came out of that day. This is how you miss out on opportunities, is you don't write down the calls that you made and the people that you've reached out to. You've got to collect that. You got to grab those ideas, and you got to grab those prospects when they're right there in front of you. Number 9, you save and invest with the future in mind. Okay. For those of us that survived 08 through 10, we learned our lesson, right? We learned our lesson. We focused on putting a certain amount away so that in the event we had another dry spell that, we're covered. Okay. So, number 9, like, this is something where, as you move forward here, you really want to focus on what do I need to keep, right, to the side, so that I can go out and work the market without any fear. Okay. That's hard, right? Number 10, they rest. They know when their body needs to power down, and whether that's a trip or travel or just a good old nap on a late Saturday afternoon or in the middle of the week, whenever, but your body is telling you when you need to rest. And everything that I do bookends my 7 hours of needed sleep. Okay. 7 hours is my number, and that is what anchors my day. And so I make sure that I monitor my sleep and rest. And that is something that the 3%, the ELP super achievers do. Now, what I would say as we go through this is, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rank in these areas right now? Going into Take Flight version 4.0, where do you rank? 1 being never. I don't monitor that area at all. I don't have a morning ritual. I don't do any, meditation, visualization, or gratitude type strategies, which those are strategies, by the way. They're not woo woo, they're strategies, high performance strategies. 1 being never, 10 being every day for an extended period of time. Where do you rank in those 10 areas? Okay. None of this stuff is tough. You just got to do it. You got to be consistent, right? When we get to section 2 of Take Flight version 4.0. We're going to talk about habits, rituals, systems, and processes. This is the tail of your plane. We'll spend a lot more time on this in much more detail. I've seen people literally change the trajectory of their life and business in a matter of days and weeks by recommitting to those areas. And again, everybody has different things that work for them, and you got to focus on what works for you, right? Take Flight is a basic operating system. I'm not telling you what to do necessarily. I'm giving you what the 3%, those ELPs, super achievers, are doing. They do it in different ways, but they do it. They know what works for them. They don't just think about doing it, but they're actually putting in the consistent effort, right? So once momentum takes the wheel, life gets easier. When momentum takes the wheel, life gets easier. And in Take Flight version 4.0, we'll talk about the difference between discipline and motivation. Okay, discipline and motivation. You need to rely on discipline to be consistent. You need to rely on discipline to be consistent, because motivation comes and goes. Motivation is based in emotion. I don't want you coming on here getting motivated. I want you coming on here looking for strategies. I'm telling you the truth, literally to your face, every Monday morning, of what it takes to live a life and a business that is perfect for you. I know that gets you fired up. It might be motivating, but it's not the motivation that's going to keep you moving forward. It is the discipline. Because if you're not disciplined, and you get in, you create that inconsistency. What happens is one day becomes 2 days becomes a week, and before you know it, it's been 6 months since you created the necessary action to build your business. 3 to 6 months after that, there is no harvest because you didn't plant any seeds. And you're wondering, what do I got to do? What do I need to do, Jim? Well, right here in this moment, commit to being consistent. You know what you've done in those times when things are working for you. Go back and commit to those areas at work. At this point, after that period of time of being inconsistent, the agent experiencing the rut gets nervous, anxious, and tries to plant a bunch of seeds, right? They go out and they start posting a lot on Instagram. They start calling all their clients, hoping that there will be an immediate harvest. You might get a little bit of things that pop up out of the ground, but you're not going to get a full bounty. It doesn't work like that. To even out those peaks and valleys that taunt the 97%, you need a disciplined, consistent approach. Nice and easy breezy, consistent, every day, doing the same things over and over and over and over, falling in love with the process. Take a deep breath and just know that those seeds are under the ground, working their way up. You need that disciplined, consistent approach, just like your aircraft needs fuel. Today, I'm asking you for your commitment to be consistent and to grab the handle of the pump and create that gravitational pull of new business and new experiences. Grab that pump, handle the pump, and create that gravitational pull, new business and new experiences. Darren Hardy states that consistency is the key to achieving and maintaining momentum. I'll go on to say that there is zero chance you are getting to 30,000 feet, which is that flow in your life and business, if you do not create momentum through consistent action. I wish it's easier. I wish it was easier, but it's not. I wish there was a different way, but there's not one. That's why only 3% get to 30,000 feet, enabling them to pull the engines back and let their business work for them. On this journey with me through Take Flight version 4.0, consistency will be, has to be, needs to be your fuel. All of this is going to be on my email tomorrow, the recording, my review of Christine Newell's book, my transcript, all of this will be on that email. If you're not on it, go onto my Instagram handle, Ask Jim Miller. There's a place that you can go in and register for the email. I'd love for you guys to be on it if you're not. With that, I'm going to sign off today. Have a good one, everybody. I appreciate you jumping on the call today, and we'll see you next week. Thanks all.